Hi everybody, this is Tim at Comic Carnival. I am here with Ron Braun, and Ron is the writer and artist of Once Upon a Platypus, in addition to some other stuff. And he's here in the store today talking about his creation, and he's signing copies, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Ron. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about Once Upon a Platypus?
Yes, it's in short, it's a science fiction fantasy story about a girl that finds a talking platypus with amnesia.
Oh man, amnesia is the worst.
It is. Yeah, he doesn't know where he came from, how he got there, who he is.
And their adventures.
Yep, and then it continues from there, and the mystery begins to unfold as to, where he does come from and why he is where he is.
Yeah. So I'm feeling a little Howard the Duck vibe there.
I'd never compared that, but yeah.
Trapped in a world you never made, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm looking here, I'll go ahead and pan over a little bit. I'm looking at the covers. There seems to be a fantastical element, perhaps?
Yep.
Beyond just the talking platypus. What inspired you to make Once Upon a Platypus?
I've been playing with the idea for a long time. In fact, I did a comic strip back in 2003 that was called Hello Cruel World, and I used him as the kind of the catalyst for some stuff that was going on there. So I played with the entire plot back that far, but I always wanted to do more, and I've always had people say, you stopped this, but we really like the platypus. Okay, let me kind of switch it up and put a new character in.
Sure.
So I added the girl, and
it's like Johnny Depp taking over the Pirates franchise, right?
Exactly.
And who were your artistic inspirations?
Back in the day, I was really drawn to Jack Kirby, John Buscema as superhero type artist. I've always been a big fan of Charles Schultz, Peanuts.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Smith, Bone.
I love that.
Those are all that was probably the biggest inspiration in that I can tell this cool story, because when I was younger, I would take a Snoopy-like character and put him in adventures, the life and death adventures, similar to what Jeff Smith said. His inspirations was taking the Bugs Bunny and those characters and putting him
in high stakes, right.
And I used to
drama,
and I used to do the same type of thing. So that helped me to get here.
Very cool. Now you've got 3 issues out, is that right?
I've got 3 main issues. I started with one it called Beginnings. You can't see, sorry. I started with it called Beginnings, and then I was going to do that and then go to a trade. But that was just taking too long, and I had to break it down into smaller things for me to be able to do it. So then I've got the main 3 issues, and then I did one called Tales, Platypus Tales. That's some short stories using the similar characters.
And do you do your own coloring too?
I do.
Are you a physical media guy, or do you use Procreate?
Right now I'm still physical media.
Okay.
I obviously color in Photoshop, but everything else is pen and ink on paper.
And what background did you have in cartooning? Are you self-taught? Or?
Yeah, I'm self-taught. I started when I was really young. Everything at that point was pencil and on paper. My dad would bring home paper from work, and I'd draw on the back of it.
Kids these days don't remember how hard it was to get paper back in the day. I remember my mother worked at a hospital, and she would bring home the printouts that they would make that would be junk, but man, that was gold to me.
I've still got, I keep everything, so I've still got all the old stuff I did with, all my dad's work information on the back.
Very cool. So what about is Bone your writing inspiration? Is there a separate writing inspiration?
I don't know if I could probably go with that, but I don't know if I have a writing inspiration. I feel like I'm telling a story and not writing the story.
Oh, okay.
Everything loosely plotted, but I have it pretty well written. The first 5 issues. So
okay.
There's a big cliffhanger at the end of issue 5 that I'm working toward first.
Very cool. And so you've got 3 out. Is 4 due?
I'm hoping 4 will be out this summer.
Okay, fun.
5 maybe real early in 2020, and then the trade later in 2020.
Sure, cool. And it looks like you've got some swag here. You've got platypi.
I do.
Platypuses. Which one is it?
They say it's platypone.
Platypus.
But I like platypi.
Yeah. And you got
sounds
some
better.
cool buttons here
I've got
featuring your character.
buttons down there with him dressed as different superheroes and movie icons.
And his name is just Platypus, is that right?
No, he actually has a name, Dak Waggett, but you don't know it in the book yet.
Oh, sorry,
Don't tell
I'm
anybody.
sorry. No,
No,
that's a Star Warsy name. Dak Waggett. I like it.
I came on. Yeah, that's probably where I got the Dak from. What's funny is
I don't think there's a character named Dak. It just
Well,
sounds sort of
was
like.
there a Dak?
I don't know, but Dex. There's a Dex. Anyway, it sounds Star Warsian. That's
does.
cool.
I lost a train of thought. Oh, when I was doing my comic strip, I got an email from somebody in Australia asking if he was one of their relatives because apparently their name was Waggett.
Oh, okay.
I told her no, but if she wants to think so.
Yeah, sure.
But I call out his name on my on the prints and stuff that I do with the different characters.
Very cool.
So it's not a secret.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't come out in the book yet.
Very great. So I see you've got some commission stuff set up here. You have prints for sale as well?
I do have prints with a lot of the different characters.
Oh, look at that surfer. That's great.
Yeah, I've got a lot of different ones there.
Flashopus.
The Plaid Avengers.
Yeah, good stuff.
And then I do commissions as well with him as different characters, so I have a lot of other ones. I had trouble after a while naming them.
Okay.
So I started just saying, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Platypus.
Yep.
I like it.
So yeah, I make them for people and say, you name it yourself. But yeah, lots of different. Did a Stan Lee.
Oh yeah. Were you a fan of Stan Lee?
I was, yeah. That's the kind. I mean, I grew up in the Silver Age comics.
Mm-hmm.
So
And what did you read back then?
Fantastic Four was my comic of choice.
Yeah, and that's the one he sort of stayed with the longest.
Yep, my first issue of that was after Kirby left. It was 111.
Oh, okay.
And what's funny is I bought that, and at the end of that is the Thing and the Hulk squaring off against each other.
Yeah.
It took me 30 years to ever get the next issue. I never knew how that turned out.
That was part of the fun, the hunt.
That's true. But yeah, back then, I read the Avengers, Power Man, Iron Fist, Moon Knight.
Marvel guy.
Yep, Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Never strayed too far from that.
Okay. And are you enjoying the current Marvel stuff that's going on? Movies and stuff?
The movies, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, the movies I am.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Though I get so much has changed since I read it that sometimes they've retconned origins and stuff, and I remember watching the first Thor movie.
Yeah.
And going, okay, when is he gonna hit his cane and turn into Thor, Donald Blake? It's like, okay, what? I'm so confused. I have no idea what's going on here.
Well, you have Chris Hemsworth, and you're like, we're not going to really take up any time with a non-good-looking guy. We'll just keep him on the screen.
Good point.
I guess they could have CGI'd him down like they did in Captain America.
Confusing for me watching Thor. I enjoyed it, but I thought, okay, I just kept waiting for that to happen, and never did.
So, speaking of other media, this looks like it's ripe for a cartoon or something. Do you have any interest in doing something like that in the future?
I'd be thrilled with that if I was approached with that. But right now, I'm just concentrating on this because I work full time, so it's not a full time job for me.
Sure.
I
Yeah, that makes sense.
Get the time in there when I can.
Very cool. Well, Ron, do you have any upcoming things? Well, if people are interested and they can't make it in today, where could they contact you?
OnceUponAPlatypus.com. Email address is thetoonguy@yahoo.com.
Nice.
So, and I have a catch-all for all my artwork at toon-it-up.com.
Two nice URLs. Good job.
Yep.
Got those.
Now, make sure you put the dashes in there because toonitup.com is a porn site. So, be careful.
How? Why?
No, they're going to get a big boost of things now.
Good job. Sure. I'm looking for that platypus stuff that's supposed to be here. And do you have any other upcoming projects you'd like to talk about?
This has taken up most of my time, so not right now. Though I take that back.
Okay.
I'm working on a picture book version of the first issue. So I'm
like a coloring book sort of thing, or what's
more of a young,
text on one side and a picture on the other, that kind of thing, like a classic
picture.
children's book.
Yeah, doing it in a little rhyme.
Oh, that sounds good.
I've got a 5-year-old who enjoys that type of stuff, so I want to do something like that for
And
him.
does your 5-year-old like platypuses?
He does. He
Platypus?
sleeps with his platypus every night.
Oh, that's great. That's great. All right, Ron. Well, thanks so much for coming in, and you'll be here till
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock today. All right. Thanks. And
Thank
I hope
you.
you guys can come in and see him.